No, it's by Epic History TV. Oh, okay. Oh, it's this one? There we go. In a brilliant 10-year campaign, Alexander and his okay. Macedonian army conquered much of the known world from Egypt to the Indus River. In 324 BC, they returned to according to the ancient historian Arrian, Alexander executed 13 ringleaders before confronting the army. Alexander's exact words are not known, but modern historians believe Arrian records of the essence of real moment in history passed down by eyewitnesses.
What I'm about to say isn't meant to stop you returning home. As far as I care,
oh, nice. I like the audio.
Wish. But I want you to know how you have behaved towards me, and how I have treated you. I'll begin, as is right, with my father, Philip. When he found you, you were mere peasants, wearing hides, tending a few sheep on the mountain slopes, and you could barely defend them from your neighbors. Under him, you began living in cities, with good laws and customs, and he turned you from slaves into rulers over those very barbarians who used to plunder your land.
Oh shit.
He conquered most of Thrace, taking the best harbors so there was trade and prosperity, and put the mines to steady work. The Thessalians, they used to terrify you. Well, we rule them now. The Athenians and Thebans,
hot take,
always looking for
a
a
little
chance
bit
to
better
attack
than Alexander the
Macedonia,
Great.
was so humbled, myself playing my small part in the war, that they no longer take tribute from Macedonia, but instead depend upon us for their protection. My father went to the Peloponnese and put their house in order.
Sparta.
Then he was declared supreme commander of all the Greeks for the campaign against the Persians. An honor not just for himself, but for all Macedonians. This is what my father Philip did for you. Great enough on its own, but small compared to what you've gained from me. I crossed the Hellespont, even though back then the Persians still commanded the sea. I defeated the satraps of the great King Darius, and made you rulers of Ionia, Aeolis, Phrygia, and Lydia, and took Miletus by siege. The rest of the land surrendered willingly, and their wealth became yours. All the riches of Egypt and Cyrene, which I won without a fight, are yours now. Syria, Palestine, Mesopotamia, Babylonia, all belong to you. The wealth of Lydia, the treasures of Persia, the jewels of India and the Outer Sea. You are now satraps. You are generals and captains. What have I held back for myself apart from this purple cloak and diadem? Nothing. No man can point to my riches, only the things I hold in trust for you all. And what would I do with them anyway? I eat what you eat. I get no more rest than you. Many times I have spent the night on watch, so that you could sleep soundly. Who among you believes he's worked harder for me than I have for him? Come on! If you've got scars, strip and show them to me. I'll show you mine. There isn't one part of my body, the front at least,
Alexander's troop were probably like, boss, we want to go home, it's been years.
My body's covered in scars from every weapon you can think of. Swords, arrows, stones, clubs. All for the sake of your lives, your glory,
They're
and
like,
your
probably
wealth.
like, yeah, I mean, nice speech and all, but can we go home?
And yet here I still am, leading you, as conqueror of land and sea, rivers, mountains, and the plains. We've celebrated our weddings together.
Very true.
Many of your children will be cousins of my own. I've paid off your debts without asking how you got them, even though you're paid well enough and pillage every city we take. Many of you wear golden crowns, badges of courage and honor given you by me. Any one of us who was killed, who met a glorious end, we buried with full honors.
This pitch is so extra. I mean, it's epic, but definitely very extra. Oversimplify should do another on Alexander the Great. Oh, that'd be so good, man. That'd be so good. I hope he's working on something like that because that'd be pretty epic. The way I know Alexander was crazy was he kept his troops on campaign and away from home like 12 continuous years. Don't think anyone else in history has done anything like that. Oh yeah, for sure. Absolute. It sounds like absolute madness. But hey,
many now stand
he was a
by
pretty
bronze
tough
statues
conqueror.
in Macedonia. Their families are honored and pay no taxes. Under my command, not one man has been killed fleeing the enemy. And now, I wanted to send back some of you who've been wounded or crippled, or have grown old, to be welcomed back home as heroes. But since you all wish to go, then all of you, go! Go home and tell them that your king, Alexander, conqueror of the Persians, Medes, Bactrians, and Scythians, who now rules over the Parthians, Chorasmians, and Hyrcanians as far as the Caspian Sea,
Shit.
who's marched over the mountains of the Hindu Kush, crossed the Oxus and Tanais rivers, even the Indus, first to cross it since Dionysus himself. I would have crossed the Hyphasis too if you hadn't cowered in fear. Who sailed into the great sea from the...
Boss, we just want to see our families. It's been like over a decade. A lot of Macedonian nobles actually sort of consider Alexander a hypocrite for claiming sometimes Philip and sometimes the god Zeus Ammon as his father. Alexander really shouldn't be treated as having conquered so much as enacting a coup of Persia and combining with Greece. It's still an amazing feat, but it's just not rolling over the land. I'd be lying to you if I told you I know a whole lot about this.
mouth of the Indus, who crossed the desert of Gedrosia, where no one had ever led an army,
But this is badass, I mean.
who took Carmenia, while my fleet sailed the Persian Gulf. When you get home, you tell them that when you made it back to Susa, you abandoned him and went home, leaving him under the protection of the foreigners you'd conquered. Perhaps this report of yours will seem glorious in the eyes of men, and worthy in the eyes of the gods. Be gone!
Holy crap. After this speech, the Macedonian troops begged Alexander for forgiveness, leading to an emotional reconciliation between the king and his army. Wow, holy fuck. Recommend watching epic series on Alexander one day. Yeah, I think we can binge. What do you guys think? We can binge watch that series on stream. Would you guys like that? If you tell me you would like that, I'll make it the next stream for sure. But man, this was so good. Alexander began to plan further conquests. But in Babylon, less than a year later, he succumbed to an unknown illness and died aged just 32. Holy fuck! Sure, that'd be great. Recommend watching San Marino of Geography now. Sure, we'll watch that too. Man, 32 years old. Sort of reminds me of Napoleon and how young he was when he started his conquest. 32. Man, I'm 22 and I feel like I haven't done fucking shit. That would be cool. Perfect. Next stream, binge watching his Epic History TV, Alexander the Great. Okay, let's mark that in our calendars, especially mine. Bro, this was epic. This was so fucking good. I'm so glad you guys recommended this one. It's pretty crazy how the troops reconciled, right? And the one on Napoleon is even better, but no way you can do it on one stream too long. Yeah, probably we could do one stream for one and one stream for another. But yeah.
By looking at their journeys as cultures.
So we're watching Explaining America's Identity in 10 Ethnicities.